Good morning. Thank you for taking the time to discuss disaster recovery scenarios in a VMware-based cloud environment. As a cloud advisor at IT Vortex, a question that frequently comes up via clients' insurance providers is what are the different scenarios that come up that may necessitate disaster recovery as a service, and how implementation and failover may differ in each case.
Good morning, Lauren. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss this. Disaster recovery is a crucial component in today's IT infrastructure, particularly for enterprises that rely on cloud technologies. Generally, there are four main scenarios that we see for disaster recovery. Scenario 1 would be hardware failure at the production site. Scenario 2 would be data corruption or accidental deletion or purposeful deletion. Scenario 3 would be cyber attacks like ransomware. And scenario 4 would be natural disasters affecting the production site.
So let's talk about that first scenario, hardware failure at the production site. What would be the strategy in case of a hardware failure at the production site?
Yes, this is by far the most common scenario. For the production site, this would be anything from a server to a switch to a storage area network device failing. And instead of trying to restore that from a backup or fix the hardware, the quickest way to get that server back is to fail it over to the recovery side, in which there are multiple instances we can essentially power on and continue operations with, quick and easily.
So a second scenario, data corruption and accidental deletion. What about data corruption or accidental deletion? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Again, very common scenario. There's also a third aspect of this, which is purposeful deletion, where a disgruntled employee may choose to delete files or emails upon their leave. What we do, instead of restoring from a backup that may not have the time difference or changes in the files upon when they were deleted or lost, we go to a recovery point on the disaster recovery site in which we will sandbox restore the file server, handpick the files, and place them back into production.
Scenario number 3 is cyber attacks such as ransomware. How does DRaaS fit into mitigating ransomware attacks?
Yes, ransomware is a top concern for every company nowadays. And while things like air-gapped and immutable backups are a strategy that can protect the data in an immutable fashion, it also requires long recovery times. Whereas on the disaster recovery side, the multiple instance scenario can go back to multiple points in time, 4, 6, or 8 hours before the ransomware took place, and easily have the environment up and running from a production standpoint.
Scenario number 4 are natural disasters affecting the production site. Natural disasters can be catastrophic. How does DRaaS handle such events?
Yes, another great question. And this question is really twofold because there are predictable natural disasters and unpredictable, such as a tropical storm or a hurricane. We know that these storms are coming, and many companies nowadays, with DRaaS policies in place, will choose to fail over to another geographic region that is unaffected by the hurricane, which they can do ahead of time and very seamlessly. And in scenarios where there's things such as an earthquake or a fire or flooding and it's unpredicted, the companies can still do an entire geographic site failover to a different recovery site and run their business from that site for as long as they wish until their original site is able to be restored.
Well, Lou, thank you so much for the comprehensive overview. These insights will significantly aid in underwriting cyber risk for businesses that use VMware-based cloud services for their critical operations.
You're welcome, Lauren. It's imperative for businesses to understand the nuances of each disaster recovery scenario to ensure they're adequately prepared. If you have any more questions or need further clarifications, feel free to ask us or reach us via our email or podcast.